Welcome back to Rules for Radical Christians. I am William Green. Module 19, What Daniel Conceded and What He Refused, the Architecture of Non-Compromise. To transform the student from a passive occupant of secular institutions into a deliberate strategic operator who understands how to accumulate positional and relational influence through excellence. Today, we are going deep on the angle of pre-commitment and why it matters right now on the mountain of education. Before we begin the teaching, a current story that illustrates everything we are about to cover. Fort Lewis welcomes first native president amid reconciliation process. Fort Lewis welcomes first native president amid reconciliation process. Sarah Weissman, 2/4/28/2026-3. Oh yeah. Fort Lewis College has spent years taking stock of its history as a federal Indian boarding school. And working with local tribes, this story illustrates Rule 2 operating on the mountain of education. The documented mechanism, incremental pressure, shame, reframe, isolation. The goal is not domination, but faithful presence, witness to the truth, and service with excellence. We do not counter deception with better deception, nor do we counter amorality with a Christian version of pragmatism. To do so would be to lose the war before the first battle is fought, for our struggle is not merely for political power, but for the preservation of truth. This is Alinsky Rule 2 in operational deployment on the mountain of education. The mechanism is sophisticated, unified in methodology, and repeatable across every institution it targets. The adversary does not need coordination at the top level. The tactics self-replicate because they work. The Daniel model is not a model of total accommodation, and it is not a model of reflexive confrontation. It is a model of precision, and precision is the most difficult skill to develop because it requires the holder to resist two simultaneous and opposite temptations simultaneously. The first temptation is to accommodate everything the institution demands in order to preserve access. The second is to confront everything the institution demands in order to preserve purity. Both strategies fail, and understanding why they fail is the foundation of the Daniel decision architecture. Total accommodation produces what the book of Daniel does not show. A man who has been absorbed. The biblical counter-strategy is not aspirational, it is operational. Daniel 1:8. The precision of this verse is critical for the student's operational understanding. Daniel did not make a public statement. He did not organize the other Hebrew captives into a collective protest. 2. Paul's injunction against conformity to the world is not a command to confront every institutional demand with public resistance. On the mountain of education, documented pattern. The mountain of education has documented cases of this exact mechanism playing out in real institutions. These patterns repeat across every mountain. The counter-strategy is documented, repeatable, and biblically grounded. Here are the specific response steps. Step 1. Conduct a domain audit of your institution. Map every institutional demand your workplace or institution makes on you: training requirements, language norms, participation expectations, project assignments, public statements, and classify each one using the Daniel diagnostic. Does compliance with this demand require the violation of a covenantal commitment? This is not a one-time exercise. It is a quarterly practice because institutional demands shift over time. Step 2. Define your refusal lines in advance. Before you face a specific confrontation, identify in writing the specific demands that would trigger a Daniel-level refusal. These are your King's Food lines. Having them defined before the pressure arrives prevents emotional decision-making under institutional duress and ensures that your refusals are principled rather than reactive. Step 3. Develop the art of strategic framing. When a refusal becomes necessary, study Daniel's method. He did not confront, protest, or denounce. He requested, proposed an alternative, and framed the refusal in terms of what he was offering rather than what he was rejecting. Practice articulating your refusals in these terms. I am unable to sign this statement, but here is an alternative formulation that addresses the institution's legitimate concern while preserving my ability to engage with integrity. The Daniel model of non-compromise is not a model of selective faithfulness. It is a model of diagnostic precision. Daniel distinguished with extraordinary clarity between the domains where Babylon's demands were matters of cultural form that did not require covenantal compromise, and the domains where compliance would have constituted spiritual defilement. Everything we covered today is documented in the book Rules for Radical Christians, available on Amazon. The full course, with Module 1 free, is on School. The Shield Wall community is available for download. All links are in the description below.